Vegas is all about the numbers, and tonight we have plenty of them. Over 30 drivers, 3 different winners this season, and 1 ready to take the checkers tonight. I'm Eliza Bethel, along with Pete Ruzick in the booth. How you doing tonight, Pete?
Eliza, I am absolutely ready to throw down, ready to see who strikes it big here in Sin City. At the end, it's going to be all about who's standing on the stage with those Vegas showgirls ready to celebrate. How are you?
I'm doing good, and I'm ready for Vegas. It's going to be another fun one. I think we're going to have, some very, very tight racing as we saw at Auto Club. We had some nice green flag laps, but the end got a little crazy, so I'm a little concerned about that tonight. We'll see what happens. But before that happens, we do have some driver spotlights tonight. Joining us tonight are 2 veteran drivers of SnB. They're both veterans for Team FIWB Esports 2025, and I'm going to say, but different. So first up is the driver of the number 93 Chevys, driving the scoreboard, Joe Berg, and also is going to be for the number 37 Toyota Gamer Sups is going to be Andrew Sanford. Good evening, gentlemen. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm
Doing
good.
Yeah, doing really good.
Glad to hear it. I think it's going to be a fun one, but before we get there, we have to go over these questions and see what's going on. So, our first question is going to be, use one word to describe Las Vegas, and we're going to start with Joe Berg.
Now, are we talking about the city or the track?
We'll go with the track.
Okay, because I got different words for both.
Fair enough.
Exciting.
Okay.
There's going to be a lot of excitement out there.
I think you're right. I think you're right on that. All right, Andrew, what about you? How do you feel about Las Vegas? What's one word?
I feel like it's gonna be very intense. Yeah, just based off of how Auto Club went last week, and this being a smaller track, intense would be how I describe it.
I agree with you. I agree with both of you. I think both of them, they're going to be exciting. It's going to be intense. We're going to have to watch out for all the action for sure. All right, question 2. Looking back on previous races and seasons you've competed in, what is one race you won't soon forget? We're going to start with Andrew Sanford on this one.
I honestly, this season, I feel like Phoenix was one of the better, races I've put together as a whole. I think I ran inside the top 10 for the majority of it. Didn't finish the way I wanted to, but gave me a lot of confidence in terms of driving this car and kind of the rest of the season. So
Did you drive this car a lot before the season?
I drove it a decent amount. Not a ton, but I definitely felt comfortable. And we did like a homestead practice before, or a hosted race before season 3 of SnB, I think. And it was in this car, and I really enjoyed that too. So
nice.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Joe?
I always go back to Darlington last season. It was the cutoff race, and somehow I ended up P3 and made it into the playoffs by, I think it was a point or 2. So that one always comes to mind.
Yeah, I absolutely feel that one. I remember that race, and I was so excited for you. So very awesome to see for that. All right.
Yeah, it was
next,
really good.
for sure. Next question, how many races have you attended in real life? We're going to start with you, Joe.
Man, I've tried to go to at least one race every year since I moved to the North Carolina area. I can't count them all.
So you've been
I can tell you,
a lot.
I've been as many that you can drive to without having to spend the night. I've tried to attend. So I've gone Martinsville,
Nice.
Bristol, Charlotte's right here for me, Darlington as well. And even when I lived up in New Jersey, I went to Pocono and Dover as well. So I've been to quite a few races. Tracks, probably double digits now.
Oh, okay. What was your favorite track to go to?
Oh, man. I think Bristol's still my favorite, just because there's really not a bad seat. You can just go there and see everything and really enjoy the race. Like, something will catch your eye in the corner of your eye, and it'll catch your attention, and then something else will happen.
Right.
So I think that's my favorite right now to attend live.
That's on my bucket list. So I want it to one day. All
It's
right.
worth it. It's worth it.
I bet it is. I'm excited to do it one day. All right, Andrew, what about you? How many races have you attended?
I'm also in the same boat. I grew
Nice.
up going to Auto Club,
Yeah.
That was my local track. My dad and I would go practically every year. And that was like when they had both the night race and the day race. And it also hit Sonomas before. I think it's definitely 10 plus. I don't know if I could actually count exactly how many.
Love that.
Yeah. I definitely agree with the Bristol comment though. Bristol's fantastic. I went for the All-Star race and it was really cool.
Nice. Because I really want to go there. I think it's just a matter of like finding people to go with me because I don't have a lot of NASCAR
Yeah.
fans around me. So, yeah, that's definitely a thing. All right, next question. Pick 3 NASCAR drivers you would like to have dinner with. We will start with Andrew on this one.
Give me Bubba. I think Bubba is a hoot. I think he would be a lot of fun to kind of just chat, and he has a lot of stuff outside of NASCAR I feel like he does enjoy, so he's not going to just have that. Honestly, as crazy as it sounds, I think it was the Daytona stream that Carson Hocevar had on when he was doing his like in between like the rain delay.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. So I think Carson, just from a standpoint of he's about the same age as me, so I think we'd get along really well.
Nice.
And then give me Robbie Gordon. I think
okay.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
a big Robbie Gordon fan growing up. That was my driver, and I'd love to just pick his brain on off-road racing and all that.
Yeah, that's an interesting combo. I'd love to see that dinner for sure.
Right.
All right, what about you, Joe? 3 drivers that you would like to have
man.
dinner with.
Well, I gotta pick the guy I rooted for growing up. I would love to sit down with Jeff Gordon and just have a chat with him. See what he thinks about the amazing career he had. I gotta go with SVG for a current driver, just because he's from New Zealand, and I feel like he's gonna have so many interesting stories about racing over there versus what it's like in North America. And then I'd probably also say Dale Jr., just because I want to pick his brain on the state of NASCAR and what he thinks needs to change. And I think he should be running NASCAR, honestly. But I think those are my 3.
I like everyone's combinations there. That's an interesting
Very
combo
interesting.
for sure. Yeah. All right, final question. I'll get you guys out of here. But what's a hobby or something you enjoy doing outside of racing? And we're going to start with Joe on this one.
Recently, I've been playing street hockey in like a adult rec league just for fun.
Okay.
Now I don't know how to roller skate or ice skate, so it's just on your feet. It's just footy. It's still fun though. You run around with a bunch of people that just enjoy the sport itself, and so I've been doing that a lot recently. It's a lot of fun.
Hey, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about the scoreboard and what you do on there?
Sure, yeah. So I've been working at a local radio station in the Statesville, Mooresville area in North Carolina, which is right by Charlotte Motor Speedway. Our broadcast reaches out to the track.
Nice.
And I've been working there doing some sports stuff for them and on air. I have a show that I do. It's once a week now. On Fridays, and I've been working there being a producer for them as well for about 2 years.
Nice.
You can see them all on social media. It's just WSIC News, and catch my show Fridays at 11.
There you go. He did an awesome job. He just did an interview with William Byron, so be sure to tune in. Give him a follow for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, Andrew, what is a hobby or something that you do outside of racing?
I mean, the easy one is probably I'm a big Lego fan. I haven't been building as much as I would like to, but I definitely like to collect and build a lot of the sets. So I'll sit with Lego is probably my biggest hobby outside of racing.
Is it like have you build stock cars or do you build a lot of buildings? What are we talking about?
I would say it's a cross between a lot of the Speed Champion stuff that's come out.
Okay.
So like they have like the new NASCAR and then a bunch of the new F1 cars, and then I'm a big Star Wars fan as well, so Star Wars sets are always high on my list.
Nice. I love it. All right, guys, that is it for our interview tonight. I wish you guys a ton of luck and appreciate you guys letting me quiz you guys and get to know you. It's been a lot of fun. And good luck tonight at Las Vegas.
Thank you, Eliza.
Appreciate it.
Right. I'll get you guys back down to Team FIWB. Good luck. And you guys heard it from Andrew Sanford and Joe Berg. All right, Pete. We're going to be starting here and qualifying. As soon as I said that, here we go. Back to qualifying. So these drivers getting ready. We had a lot of fast drivers out there. Drew Zaff and these guys out in the 30s. So we'll see what they can get here in qualifying. But, man, it's going to be interesting here tonight. I think it's going to be extremely close on what they can do out here.
Oh, I absolutely believe the same exact thing. Pretty much every driver that I talked to during that 45-minute practice, they were saying it's really, really loose in 1 and 2, so they got to be a little ginger, especially on exit. But there's a whole lot of grip in 3 and 4. This track also has the multi-level banking, so you can carry a whole lot of speed on the high side. Also, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a very fast race, and I'm hoping we can keep the yellows down. But with almost 40 out there, I believe again tonight, everybody should be able to qualify their way in and put on a phenomenal show.
Yeah, we had some huge upsets last week with qualifying. We had over 40 drivers, which means some drivers will not be able to race. I don't believe that will be the case tonight, fortunately. But Steven Maggio, he was one that did not race, and this is coming from the previous week winner. So very, very interesting. I mean, it just shows how important qualifying is here. We also had for Team FTR, Jordan McGraw. So it's just a really tough week for some of these drivers that did not make it in. There was quite a few, I would say 5 or 6. And Honeycutt says in chat, 39 drivers. So we are just right there. But let's take a look, see who is out there. 30-20 for Andrew Zaff. We have Zach Dusher, it shows, but then it says Francis Hamilton in second for 30-24. Jimmy Cocker in third with a 30-76. I think everything is a little confused on what is going on, Pete. I show two different things for who's on pole, but I show Zapp and I also see Tom Flitcroft, which is not even registering. So very interesting out here.
Yeah, right now I'm seeing kind of the same thing. Tom Flitcroft by 1/1000th over Maggio. So right now Maggio sitting P2. Matt Burgess, Tom Harmon, and Jordan McGraw. Big bounce back for Jordan, and that's not to throw any salt in that wound. I know that him not making the field last week, the same thing with Steven Maggio, were big surprises, not only to us, but to several drivers out there. They kept on saying, yeah, we're just waiting for that flyer lap to come up. So good to see that most everybody is here, and with qualifying underway, 39 cars should start the race. It's gonna be a phenomenal race. Going back to what Joe Berg was just saying about getting into street hockey and whatnot, it automatically brought me to Wayne's World, where they're in the middle of the street, car game on, car game. I don't know what that. It just brought back a little bit of nostalgia for me, but. This is going to be a great race. A lot of very fast cars in this field, and the amount of people that show up, or the amount of drivers that show up every week, is again a great testament to how strong this community really is.
Absolutely. These guys just do a phenomenal job. And last week we talked about it. Like I said, we had a lot of green flag runs, but towards the end, man, you get that aggressiveness. And once that caution came out, it just brought out a series of cautions. So Las Vegas, different lines work. So many of them. You can pass on the high side, the middle, the lone line you can run. It just depends on what you can do and how you're wearing your tires down to make it work. We'll see what we have tonight, but these guys are going to have to take care of their tires. You can run in qualifying full throttle. That is not going to be the case here in race, especially in draft and once those tires start wearing down. So we'll keep our eye on it. But I do want to give a huge shout out to all you guys out there in chat. I appreciate you. If you have somebody you are rooting for, let us know who it is. But Brody Folliger goes straight to the lead, 30-61. Looks like he just beat out Jonathan Hernandez, who also has a 30-61. Tom
Yep.
Flitcroft in third with a 30.62. Steven Maggio, who missed last week, he has a 30.63.
Yeah, right now, Matt Burgess. How about that? Look, I mean, it's like literally tied first through third, fourth and fifth and sixth, also right there with a tie. Seventh and eighth, ninth, very, very close also. And then, I mean, the top 10, Eliza, right now, less than half a tenth. These times are extremely competitive.
Yeah, it's just it's very, very close. And you know what I say, when you see times this close, you know it's going to be extremely tight racing. So it's going to be a fun one, but do expect some cautions to come out tonight for sure. Let's take a look at points as these drivers are going to be out and warm up. You can see Jimmy Cocker is in the lead with 97 points. So absolutely incredible. He gained 3 spots last week to get into the lead. We have Justin Anisagak. He will be a start in park tonight, but he gained 9 spots last week to be P4. We also have Matthew Opliger. He gained 12 spots. He's up there in P8 in standings. And we also have PJ O'Leary, who gained 9 spots, and Hunter Johnson, who gained 19 spots as he sits in 17th. So a lot of big movers last week, and it's the beginning of the season, Pete. There's going to be a lot of movement in these standings, and you'll see some guys drop. You'll see others fly up the charts.
Single week.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be really fun. I'm excited for it, absolutely. All right, let's take a look at the race analysis for tonight here at Las Vegas. We're going to have 134 laps here at Sin City. Fast repair is going to be 0. They will not have a fast repair, nor will they going forward. You can see some of these guys already getting loose. For stages, we have 2 stages. The first stage will end at the conclusion of lap 40. That means the top 10 drivers that cross the line first will receive bonus points, with number 1 getting 10 bonus points and 10th place getting 1 bonus point. Second stage will be 94 laps, and they do have 4 sets of those fresh Goodyear tires to do what they need to do out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Some guys were spending a little bit of extra time on the throttle, talking to a few in practice, and they were really talking about how much these tires were wearing. So with only 4 sets over 134 laps, they're really going to have to bide their time with when they grab that next set. You don't want to run out early should we have a green-white checker at the end, or a caution fall with 15 laps to go, and you're really wishing you had that extra or that 1 set of tires left. And not only that, Eliza, you come out here on old tires, you got a good chance at spinning them on any kind of a restart that we may have.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're seeing drivers out here already that are getting loose, which is a little strange because I can tell you it was extremely tight. But you can see the 54 Jai Baxter. He is getting loose, and you can see him making his way onto pit lane under warm-up here. Mike Papa Bear Campbell, who won his league race last night, he's out there in that 71. He's P18th on the speed charts currently, but it is just a warm-up. We'll see how he does tonight. We do have also a birthday. Let me take a look. It is going to be Robert Newman's birthday.
Yep.
Here we go. Here he is. Make sure to give him a birthday shout-out in chat for Robert Newman. Happy birthday, good sir.
Yep, before the race started, made sure, as I try to do every single week, go through all the different team chats and just say, hey, good luck. Keep the shiny side up, have fun, and all that. Go get it. But yeah, I definitely made sure to wish Mr. Newman a happy birthday going through as well. Look at Luke Allen in that number 7 Chevrolet, grabbing the top of the charts in this 5-minute warm up. Less than 30 seconds to go. Good job by him.
He's another one. Just so much improvement throughout these seasons. It's just really, really fun to watch. And I still say we're going to get a win from him soon. He is looking so loose out there. This is just pretty wild, Pete. I'm just blown away that some of these guys are so loose. Some of them are just messing around. You can see Joseph Turley go right into the back of him. But yeah, it's... some of these guys are loose. Some of them are tight, Pete.
Yeah, very much. I mean, you saw his hands rocking back and forth on that wheel, really trying to catch it, and there was just no luck. So loose, having to walk it up the track, and eventually that wall is going to come, and there's just nowhere else to go. It's going to be a great race as we get ready to set the grid and go green.
I agree. And here we go. Brody Folliker is going to be on pole in that number 42 machine for FIWB. On his outside is going to be Jonathan Hernandez, who we've seen several times on that front row. In third, we see Tom Flitcroft in the number 8 with Steven Maggio in that 51 sitting P4. Row 3 is going to be Matt Burgess with Thomas Harmon to his outside. And in row 5 is going to be River Jones with Jimmy Cocker to his outside. And Day Day, thank you so much for the biddies. I appreciate it.
P9 looks like the one and only Jordan McGraw in that number 34 with John Hernandez in that, I'm not quite sure what number that's showing as, but he's sitting P number 10. P11, Francis Hamilton in the 48 with Hunter Johnson to his outside in the 32. 13th going to be Micah Allard in that 61 with Joe Berg. We talked to him pre-race in the number 93 to round out row number 7. Row 8 looks like Andrew Sanford in the 37 with Michael Walls in the 47, P16. P17 is going to be Dylan Robb in that 1-6 with Brendan Book in the 5, P18. And to round out the top 10 rows is going to be the double deuce of Zach Deutscher with the one and only Matt Gale in the 67 sitting P20.
21st is going to be John Honeycutt with Jai Baxter in 22nd. 23rd is Matthew Opliger with Matt Sisler in 24th. 25th is going to be Luke Allen in that 7 car with Jamie Wright in 26th. 27th is Jarrett Cardwell with Jose Ruiz, going to be in 28th. 29th is Joseph Turley with Drew Zaff in 30th. And 31st is going to be Philip Bridgman with, Philip Bridgman with Austin Mitty in 32nd. Jeremy Kramer in 33rd with Mike Campbell Jr. in 34th. Josh Taylor in 35th with Mark Santucci in 36th. 37th is going to be Rob Newman with PJ O'Leary in 38th and 39th. Last but not least is going to be Connor Cunningham in that 3 car.
There you go. 40 cars ready to take the green here at Las Vegas. Chat, it's going to be a great race. Sit back, grab your popcorn, whatever kind of beverage you got. Pace truck is about to pull off, and we're going to set these guys green. Enjoy. Eliza, let's go racing.
Here we go, Sin City Racing for 134 laps here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Brody Folliker in the lead, and they are off side by side all the way through.
Yeah, into turn 1 and 2. This was the sketchiest part of the race. The restart in a very, very loose set of turns. 42 right now, walking it up just a little bit. You see the very stable number 1 of Jonathan Hernandez up by that wall. 1 car way in the back. Looks like it's going to be the 50 of John Honeycutt. I believe we're going to see our first caution.
Save us a little here.
First caution, and we saw that as we were on the blimp cam overlooking these drivers and just a little bit of contact with John Honeycutt. Got his car enough upset that he was unable to hold on to it. And you can see him right there just lose it. We'll try to back that up a little bit. You can see on that low side, he hits the apron. I think that's actually what that was. Gets a little nudge and off he goes. That wasn't even a hard hit, Pete, and it just sent him flying. Kind of wild.
Yeah, that's what people were saying. Coming up and off turn number one, very, very little grip, and yeah, unfortunately, the guys on the outside nowhere to go, innocent bystanders to say, and then as John's trying to get it down on the apron, nowhere for others to go, and collects one or two more. But the 1 and the 42, they're going to bring us back to green. I imagine most people here will stay on out unless you have to fix up any damage, Eliza.
Yeah, we have Michael Walls. Looks like he might be coming down pit lane. We have Jarrett Cardwell for Team FTR. He's got some damage you can see right there. And unfortunately, Mike Papa Bear Campbell, he is also on pit lane. Not what you want to see on the first lap here at Las Vegas.
No, you really don't want to be there at any point, but especially in the beginning. In the beginning, you're really looking to set your own tone, see exactly what your car feels like all the way through. They said, throughout the first part of practice, it takes about 5 laps or so for your car to really start to feel somewhat comfortable where you're not on that ragged edge. Well, unfortunately, we didn't get there this time, but there's a lot of racing yet to go.
A lot of racing left to go, but a little concerning with how some of these drivers are that loose. And, I talked to Honeycutt and a few other drivers in practice, and they were actually pretty tight. So very interesting to see how loose some of these guys are.
So what do you think, Eliza? You think Jonathan Hernandez is going to love this clean air and the 42 might like a little bit of dirty air to keep that car somewhat planted through 1 and 2? Should they end up single file, or do you think we stay double file a while until those that burn up their tires end up getting relegated a little bit further to the back?
Seeing that some of these guys are loose, I have a feeling that they're going to be a little aggressive like we just saw at the start, but then they're just trying to find a spot to settle in at. You have to make sure you save those tires. So they're going to try to fight for a position right out of the gate, but then single file, I assume, after a couple laps to try to save tire and hopefully get some green flag runs going.
Yeah, that would be great to see exactly how this all plays out as a long green flag run rolls on. Right now, all back double file, getting racked and stacked back up. Lights atop the pace truck are off, coming off turns 1 and 2, about to start heading down the Nellis straightaway, close by to Nellis Air Force Base, and through 3 and 4. I think maybe some seeing this first wreck, Eliza, happened so early, they might maybe back it down just a little bit, build up a little bit of tire pressure, build up a little bit of heat in it, and then get after it once that happens.
Well, we will see, because sometimes, we think they're, gonna just go stand in line like at Daytona. I thought for sure these drivers were not going to be aggressive, and immediately these guys were going 2 and 3 wide. I mean, it made for an exciting race for sure, but sometimes they'll throw a surprise at you.
Oh, we got last year's champ on the bottom side. Hernandez being in the control car. He chose the outside. A little bit of connection issue from that one, but it always seems to get better as the race goes on. He's got the 8 of Tom Flitcroft right behind him. The 51 right behind the 42. Let's go green.
On board with Brody Folliker, and you can see he's falling a little bit. Not a great start for him, as Jonathan Hernandez obviously has a great start here. He's got Tom Flitcroft that is able to move up, and he's going to be right behind, but here comes Brody Folliker trying to get on that low side and make it up to the front.
Yeah, it looks like everybody made it through turns 1 and 2, down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. One on the high side, 42 is able to pull back underneath them. 42 under power, see a little bit of a wiggle out of them, but not too bad. They both pull back side by side, going into 1 and 2 again.
Kind of a scary situation with Jonathan Hernandez kind of blimping out here. We'll see how much he is able to keep it under control, but we're already going 3 wide. We have Brody Folliker taking it to the inside. Tom Flitcroft in the middle. We have Steven Maggio on the outside. So that is going to be quite the battle here as they are making their way through the field.
Look at it, 00. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer right now pulling underneath the 1, and he's got some help from the one and only Rivers Jones. Rivers on lap number 6, coming into 7, goes ahead and posts the fastest lap so far. 3 wide for the lead.
3 wide, and Steven Maggio is going to fall in behind, and you can just see these guys staggered out all the way through the field. They are not settling just yet, Pete. Lap 7 of 134. We have a lot of laps to go here tonight. Brody Folliker side by side with that 8 car once again. Steven Maggio directly behind. We have Jimmy Cocker in the 11 car with Hunter Johnson. He is out there in a Season 1 FTR paint scheme from when he was on the team. He's out there, P8.
How about this? All right, so right now, all except for the the one on the bottom. Scratch that. No, it is the 91 Rivers Jones. He was the only one side by side right there as the top two almost make a little bit of contact. 00 and the 1. Oh, this is he's kind of pinching him down there, Eliza. When you've got to be so careful to get back on the throttle off of turn 1 and 2, being pinched down is not what you want. As it looks like we got a car pulling off the track, getting out of the way of the leaders.
Yeah, you know, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer and Jonathan Hernandez, they're pretty aggressive drivers. They're not scared to make things happen, and they're going to test each other, and sometimes there's going to be some contact. We'll see what happens, but Rivers Jones up here in second, and he goes to the lead with some momentum. He's going to go up the track, is able to hold on to it, but man, that 00, we keep losing him out here, Pete.
Yeah, he keeps blinking out just a little bit. Still, the 1 keeps blinking out a little bit. 00 right now sitting P number 3, wondering which line is going to move, whether it's going to be Rivers or Hernandez. Meanwhile, Steven Maggio, who started in 6th, started in 4th, right now running P5. He kind of fell back a little bit in that Mike's Hard Iced Tea, number 51. Looks like he's coming back up. 42 lost a few spots, but staying right there solidly inside the top 5.
Go on board with Steven Maggio. He's teammates with Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Michael Walls, Justin Rott for GOAT Incorporated. So these guys, very, very, very strong team. It's really fun to watch them out here, and you can always see them pretty close to each other and helping each other out. But we are 3 wide for P2 once again. That's going to be Jonathan Hernandez on the outside. We're going to have that 00 of Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in the center. Brody Folliker going to back out of it, and he goes to 4th.
I think Rivers Jones was absolutely loving what he saw, because as those guys were all 3 wide, they're not able to all run their line and maybe hit their marks, get on the throttle when they wanted to, or anything like that. Usually helps the leader scoot away a little bit. Meanwhile, back double file behind him for at least the next 2 rows. P number 5 looks like it's going to be the 37, though, with some company just behind, but not really much of a proverbial hornet's nest other than what we see up front.
Michael Walls, another GOAT teammate. He is in 11th currently on that 47, gained 5 spots, but Jamie Wright, how about this in the 03? He has gained 17 spots. Not a bad spot as he sits in the top 10, sitting P9.
Yeah, he's got the 93 of Joe Berg, who we talked to in pre-race, right with him, as well as Michael Walls. In front of him is going to be Tom Flitcroft and the 11 of Jimmy Cocker. Jimmy Cocker right now running that high side. Tom Flitcroft underneath, trying to take a look, not quite there, falling right back in behind.
Rivers Jones still out in the lead here, and another one that is so incredibly strong. He just does a phenomenal job. It's great to see him lead some laps out here. He will get some bonus points for it. I don't know if there was any contact between Rivers Jones and Jonathan Hernandez, but man, oh man, was that incredibly close. And they do have some lap traffic. What will soon be, another lap for him. That's going to be Jarrett Cardwell for FTR, involved in that lap 1 incident. Tough break for him.
Yeah, very unfortunate for old JC, but showing respect where respect is earned. Pulls on down the track, lets the leader go on by. That way he doesn't inhibit any of the racing. Ooh, hard exit of turn number 2 for Jonathan Hernandez. 2-3 wide behind him. You see the 8 of Tom Flitcroft, the 00, and then the 51. 8's going to go ahead and lose another spot. Here comes the 11 battling back with the GOAT Motorsports number 48 now to his outside.
Hunter Johnson on the rear of Jonathan Hernandez, giving him a nice shove as we head into the corner here. But I'll tell you what, we were on board with Rivers Jones, and it was incredibly loose. You can see how much he is holding on to that wheel, trying to get that steering, trying to keep it as straight as possible. You can see go right down to that white line and then bringing it back up. You want to kind of let the car go where it needs to so you're not wearing down the tires. The more squealing you're hearing, the more tire wear that is happening, and the angrier your car is going to be.
Talk about it. Someone maybe forcing this car to do what he wants it to do. Talking about Hunter Johnson right now up 10 spots, right along with Michael Walls to take over P number 2 right now to the inside of Jonathan Hernandez, trying to get a little bit more track position. Looks like he's going to be able to take that spot to himself. Now setting sail for Rivers Jones. See if he can take over the top spot and add a point for leading a lap to his season standings.
We are 3 wide back here. Let's take a look. It's going to be Jimmy Cocker, Jamie Wright, and Joe Berg. That is going to be for about 9th place. These guys have no chill tonight here at Vegas. Just aggressive every corner. Great racing. These guys are going for every position. I love this kind of racing. It can be sketchy, it can be scary, and there might be a caution or few, but it is awesome to watch.
Absolutely. A little bit further behind him, looking at Micah Allard, started off in P13, still running right where he is, right where he started rather. Jordan McGraw sitting 14th, Brendan Book, but Luke Allen, he keeps kind of teeter-tottering inside and outside the top 15. That's that number 7 that we were talking about, bad fast in practice. It'll be interesting to see how that 7 Columbia machine tries to march his way through the field.
Don't sleep on Francis Hamilton. He's out here in 17th. He's down 6 spots, but this is a strong driver. We've seen him just make those fast laps. I guarantee we're going to see him up in the top 10 shortly. So do not sleep on him. We have Matthew Gale out there in the 67, sitting 17th. I love his paint schemes. He's always coming out with a new one. We have Zach Deuscher in 19th in that 22 machine. Matt Sisler and 20th, Andrew Sanford, who we spoke to, a driver spotlight. You see him 21st. Matthew Opliger, 22nd. It's kind of surprising to see him back here currently, Pete.
I was actually just thinking the same thing. Very, very strong last week. Josh Taylor back here in P23, up 12 spots for him in that deuce. Jai Baxter, who you talked about a little bit ago, right now sitting 24th. Tom Harmon, who unfortunately did not have a very good race last evening, right now finds himself 25th, down 19 spots. But Eliza, you want to talk about a driver that you do not want to sleep on? Tom Harmon is always there when the chips fall to try to grab those checkers for himself.
Oh, yeah. Well, he had to pay a penalty, unfortunately, for an incident last week. So he may have qualified well, but he had to take an EOL at the start of the race. So that is why you see him back here, the 22, getting loose. Nice save by that 22. Just, man, tough goings out here. But we have Connor Cunningham, 26. Philip Bridgman, 27th. Austin Mitty, another strong driver. He is up here in 28th. Joseph Turley, 29th. Jose Ruiz, and I cannot stress enough about the luck, or I should say lack thereof, of luck he is having this season, and it's just continuation of the bad luck he had last season.
Yeah, Jose Ruiz actually he streams for himself on his own Twitch channel, and if you ever if you're not actually out here racing, Eliza, or you're not broadcasting a race or doing something, you should really pull up. He does not rest until he finds he does not rest until he finds the best possible handling for his car, where his brake bias needs to be, what his ratio needs to be. I mean, he tries every possible thing he can to get the best possible result week in and week out. He's kind of one of those silent hunters. He lays in the weeds, and all of a sudden he's there to pounce as long as he doesn't get wrapped up in somebody else's stuff. But Jose Ruiz, don't ever count him out, because turn tail and bite you.
Absolutely. Joseph Turley, you can see him outside of Jose Ruiz in that 23 car. He sits currently 30th. Jeremy Kramer, 32nd. Birthday boy Rob Newman out there, 33rd at the moment. Mark Santucci in 34th. Drew Zaff, 35th. And John Honeycutt from an earlier incident out there in 36th. Jarrett Cardwell, at least a lap down, but take a look, going 3 wide currently. He's out there in 37th. PJ O'Leary, 38th. And Mike Papa Bear Campbell still on pit lane. Unfortunately, 39th, with Rivers Jones still in the lead. And these two front runners, they are leaving a gap over third.
Look at that high line that Hunter Johnson has chosen to take in order to catch back up all kinds of grip. But up there, you gotta kind of be a little leery of just how much tire you're using, because you don't want to burn them up. Of course, if you're going around the high side, you're going around the longest part of the track. That means that you're wearing out the tire a little bit more, because you're also on the throttle a little bit more. But behind these two, you see Jonathan Hernandez, and he's got a whole world in his rear view, starting off with the 51 of Steven Maggio. He qualified P4. That's right where he runs. And Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in that 00, right now sitting P number 5 with Jimmy Cocker right in tow.
I want to get Mike Papa Bear Campbell in the booth here. I'm going to find out what exactly happened on his point of view as he is stuck on pit lane. Said his car blew up. Mike Papa Bear Campbell, it's Eliza in the booth. How you doing out there?
Not too good.
Well, you just came off of a win last night for your league race. Now tonight, kind of the opposite luck. Take us through what happened with you.
They started wrecking on that inside line, and they came straight up into us, and I had a lot of I had 3 minutes of required and like 10 minutes of required or optional. So I was sitting in here getting it fixed, and I was down to 2 minutes in the of the optional left to go, and the car started up on its own. I'm like, okay, we're about ready to do this, and then all of a sudden,
a pop?
It popped up saying repairs required, and then it jumped it up to 32 minutes, and then all of a sudden, boom! I was like, no, it just did not.
I have never seen that. That is
Me
crazy. Wow.
I am so
I was
sorry,
getting
Mike.
repairs, and it was just pop.
So
My
unfortunate.
neck's done.
Yeah.
The car, it won't even start up now, and it won't even tell me what minutes are left to fix the repairs on the engine. So
Yeah, the car's like, I'm out.
Yep.
Really
I guess
unfortunate.
I guess it figures you used up all the luck that in that horseshoe you got last evening with your win at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Again, big congratulations on that in the turn down for what iRacing Truck Series. It was fun to call you to that W last night, Mike. I guess enjoy the rest of this evening, and we'll catch you back next week.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, there you heard it from Mike Papa Bear Campbell. An unfortunate timing for him in this race. Just first lap. You hate to see it. That is so brutal when it happens that early. I don't know whether I'd be happy or sad. Happy that it didn't happen like on the last lap, or sad
I've never
that
heard
it.
that before.
Wild. Absolutely wild. But take a look at these two, Rivers Jones and Hunter Johnson, still putting these drivers behind them. Steven Maggio going to be in third. He's kind of leaving that pack also, gaining some momentum, but Jonathan Hernandez, he's a little bit behind, sitting P4th. Doing great still, but man, oh man, we'll see these drivers starting to get a little separated. Still 2 and 3 wide through the field, and that 47 going to have to let off as they were 2 wide. It's going to stack these guys on the high side up just a little bit, Pete.
Tell you, that was a phenomenal save right there by last season's champ, the 42. Slapped the wall a little bit, made a little bit of contact with the 5 right underneath, but both Brendan Book and others able to save it. Now they're 3 wide going into the corner. Tom Flitcroft on the bottom, 5 in the middle. Brody Falker up high, coming off of 4, coming across the start stripe to start lap 35.
You know, last week I think we saw 4 and 5 wide a couple of times. I don't know if you can or want to see that here at Las Vegas. If you're a driver, that is not something that's going to turn out well for you. But man, these drivers, you see Tom Flitcroft going 3 wide quite a bit. You have to be able to trust the guys behind you in that 48-20 and the 2. We're going 2 and 3 wide, a little bit of contact between Jamie Wright and that 2 machine of Josh Taylor. They are now 3 wide, Pete.
Yeah, I mean, all kinds of action going on. 48 way up on that wall, Francis Hamilton. He's got to be able to trust that car that when he's coming off the corner, it's going to stick. Whether he's got to back out of the throttle a little bit, very possible, but he does not want to plow the wall as it looks like, big wreck.
Tom Flitcroft.
He's going to collect the 03. We're going to have caution fly one more time. It's only the second caution of the evening, but yeah, some hard contact there.
Yeah, let's see if we can go back on board with these drivers, see exactly what happened. But man, brutal hit for Tom. I can't imagine that one is going to end well for him. I'm trying to find where these drivers are. I don't even see some of them, but let's go on board right here, find out. See Tom already losing it right there. We'll try to go back.
Ooh.
Hard contact. Let's see if we can find out. 45 gets into the back of the 93, just comes right down the track into the 8 car. Tom Flitcroft just has nowhere to go. Just disastrous for him right there.
Yeah, I mean, the 03, the 54, and others just getting collected in all this. That just, no making of their own. Kind of like what I was talking about earlier with Jose Ruiz. Just wrong place, wrong time too often. And usually when you're in some kind of a hornet's nest, that is bound to happen eventually. And we've seen it many, many times. Somebody tags that outside wall. You can't ride the wall. You got to pull away a little bit, or you may bounce off it into somebody else that's just close to you on the exit of the corner. Nothing you can do.
Very busy pit lane as these drivers going in to make a stop. For a lot of them, the first stop of the day. Rivers Jones led them in, but man, great racing so far. Just unfortunate, some of these drivers getting very, very loose, and you see what happens from it. But crazy, crazy race. It's going to be a fun one as these guys are coming off a race, back off of pit lane as we come under caution here.
Yeah, everybody going to get lined up now by iRacing. It looks like Rivers Jones led them all on, as you said, now up 6 spots. Jonathan Hernandez, he qualified P2. That's right where he runs in that number 1 Camaro. Hunter Johnson is going to come off 3rd. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer is going to be 4th. And Steven Maggio will be your top 5.
All right, I want to get Rivers Jones in here. Rivers, it's Eliza. How you doing out there?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, and man, you're just doing a phenomenal job. And right before you took the lead, I said, you're getting a win. It's happening this season. I don't want to jinx you, but how's your car feeling out there? How's the racing?
I like the way you're thinking. The car feels great. I was able to drive the lead pretty easily, and then I've been able to maintain it, so I'm pretty happy right now.
Yeah, not only maintain it, but put a gap over the remainder of the field, you and Hunter Johnson. So, tire wear, how does that feel, and how's that going to affect you moving forward?
It gets really tight. Like, even though I had clean air that entire run, I was getting really tight in turns 3 and 4. So my strategy here is just going to be to minimize the tightness in 3 and 4, and that'll help me turn, help me all around.
Absolutely. I see you hugging that white line down there, which obviously is going to help turn that car. But moving forward, I wish you a ton of luck, and hopefully we can get that first win tonight for you.
Thank you so much.
All right, you heard it there from Rivers Jones for Dart Motorsports, having a fantastic night tonight. You gotta love it, and I swear, Pete, no more Booth jinx. He is going to do phenomenal, and yeah, he's just got a ton of speed. And he's got Hunter Johnson behind him, which is great because those two, Hunter is a fantastic pusher.
Yep.
if he can help push him and make his way out there, I think these guys will gap the field once again. But that one car and that double O, they're both extremely strong. You got the 42, the 51. I don't know. This is going to be tight.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming off of turn number 4, one thing I would have been curious to ask Rivers about is he's up 6 spots now to lead this race, which means during that time getting up to the lead, it was kind of mired in traffic, in dirty air. It's going to be really interesting to see how his car handles now with fresh tires in the clean air, and will he be able to push, or was he kind of conserving a little bit so he had tires for the long run? For him to be able to hold off Hunter Johnson, which is a real-life race car driver, on that long run, meant that he had a pretty good long-run car. So it'd be interesting to see how he controls it, or how he manages his tire wear in this, what hopefully will be another great green flag run.
91 and the one car side by side. That's going to be Jonathan Hernandez and Rivers Jones, who led quite a few laps out here. The 4 car into the wall. He's going to go across the track. Maybe some contact between him and another. I'm not sure who that was, but yeah, really unfortunate to see here. Let's find out if we can see what happened here.
Yeah, 4 car way in the back. Looks like for the most part he's able to keep it off the inside wall, at least with the back end. Front end doesn't look too bad.
Another view of that once again. I don't know that he made contact with anyone. That's going to be the 33 of Newman behind him, who was lucky enough to be able to miss him. Wow. Some of these drivers, the way they were able to miss it, fantastic. And as you said, he was able to keep it off the wall. So good news for him, but tough break for Jeremy there, as he's going to lose some spots from that for sure.
Yeah, his tires might be a little upset with him, but you know what? If he has to go down pit road and burn another set of tires, that might bite him a little bit later on. But no damage to that number 4 is the bigger story for him.
Tom Flitcroft still on pit lane. We have Jarrett Cardwell, who is several laps down, so hopefully he can gain some back with these cautions coming out. So 3rd of the night, lap 44 of 133. We're not even halfway there, Pete, so we still have a while to go here. But Jonathan Hernandez leading the field, Rivers Jones in 2nd, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer 3rd, Hunter Johnson 4th, and Brody Folliker, last season's champion. He's rounding out your top 5.
Yeah, Steven Maggio is going to be up to P6. Michael Walls up 9 spots right now, sitting P7. P8 is going to be Jimmy Cocker, right where he qualified. Micah Allard up 4 spots to P9. Brendan Book up 8 to P10. But how about this, Eliza? We were talking about Matt Oplinger and how far back he was earlier, both kind of showing a little bit of surprise there. Well, right now, up 12 spots into P11, and you can imagine that he'll be a little bit further up as the evening goes on. To finish up your top 15, it's going to be Joe Berg up 2 spots to P12, up 22 spots. Josh Taylor in that number 2 Camaro, 14th, down 8 is going to be the 68 of Tom Harmon, but still rebounding from where he had to start the race. And 15th, up 10 spots, is that number 7 Camaro, Luke Allen, Eliza.
Yeah, how about that? We got to talk about previous winners. We could get a 4th new winner, but Daytona, we saw Jimmy Cocker, who won season 1 and also this season for Daytona. Phoenix, our round 2, it was Steven Maggio. He won a race this season. And Auto Club last week was Matthew Opliger. So really cool to see. Can we get a 4th new driver out here? And these drivers, Pete, they did punch their ticket into the chase.
Absolutely. Long season yet to go. A lot of races yet to go. It'll be interesting to see who that first driver is that doubles down somewhere and grabs a 2nd win for themselves, solidifying a few more championship points under their belt. But Pace Truck, he's got the whole field behind him going down again that Nellis straightaway. It's going to be Jonathan Hernandez as your control car. Again, Eliza, he's chosen that outside line, maybe carry a little bit of momentum off of the corner. Hunter Johnson P3, Jurgensmeyer P4, and Steven Maggio as we went through the top 5 earlier. Boy, do you ever play any games on these restarts, Eliza, when you're the control car? Maybe give it a little gas and then drop back, give it a little gas, drop back, see if you can't get that guy on the outside to jump when they shouldn't.
You know, I think everyone's done it maybe once or twice, but it is a dangerous game to play because it does mess with restarts and whatnot, and it may not pay off in the long run. But here we go, back to the restart here. Hunter Johnson all over the back bumper of Jonathan Hernandez, and Rivers Jones, he's going to need some help from that 0-0 because Hunter's just doing a phenomenal job of pushing Hernandez to that lead, keeping him there on that high side. Just ton of momentum out there, just phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like Hunter Johnson, he's going to be able to get underneath that one, try to wrap that track on the bottom, come up, big old slide job off of turn number 4 to take the point. The one right all over the back bumper of that number 32 now. The 51 and the 91 both side by side through the corner. 0-0. He's right back in the mix. Here comes the 42 as well.
Yeah, these guys are so tight. Rivers Jones falling back a little bit. He's leading that inside line, but that outside has all of the momentum. And Hernandez, he keeps blinking out, which is going to be really hard to tell where he is for Steven Maggio in that 51. That can be a little sketchy and not what you want to see when you're behind him.
No, not at all. Because if he blinks out and you get a little bit more of that draft and you don't know where he is, you could literally, he can reappear, inside your car. It is legit very, very dangerous for everybody else behind. Looks to be a little bit more stable right now, but still Maggio not quite all over the back bumper of that number 1 Sparko machine. Hunter Johnson coming across the line, getting closer and closer to completing lap number 50, leaving just 84 revolutions here around Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Dirty air is a huge thing, and you see Hunter Johnson get very loose coming off that exit there, and he's going to be passed up by not one but 2 cars. He is in the middle, and you have the 1 car blinking up high. Going to be very, very tight. Hunter Johnson squeezing that 51 as they are 3 wide for the lead.
Absolutely. The 91 had a chance to make it 4 wide, but instead chose to back up the number 1, pushing him way up high. We saw the 51 way on the bottom, gets the left sides on that white line, makes him a little squirrely. Ooh. They're going to have to, big wreck.
Multiple drivers into the inside wall. The 51, the 42, Steven Maggio and Folliker. Really unfortunate to see these guys. Yeah, I was about to say, I'm surprised the caution has not come out. Let's try to take a look at what
they're
exactly
off the track.
happened.
Nope, there it is. There's caution.
Yeah. Gonna have to back it up a little bit here. Driver, what is this? '51 on that line being squeezed by Hunter Johnson. We'll see him as they're coming up. Just, I don't even know what to say with that. These cars, just such tight racing. Just very, very tight here.
Yeah, you get down on that line and coming up off the corner, that's really where it's been a few times this evening. Just you eventually that wall is going to come up and it's going to bite. And like I said before, you can't keep the car on the wall. Otherwise, you really add more and more damage to your machine. But kind of tough knocks for the 51, the 42, the 8 of Tom Flitcroft, and a few others. That 51 really, really loose. Got to give him a big old attaboy for keeping it. Hard shot for Falliker.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys starting to go on pit lane. It looks like 51, Steven Maggio, staying out right there. You can see him. Meanwhile, we do have Brody Folliker, who is going to his pit stall here. Tires are going to be angry. You can see he was trying to put on the brakes to stop it before it hit the wall. So he's going to have to repair that, possibly get some fresh tires. But, man, I don't know if I'd want to if they just went in not too long ago.
No, not at all. I think that's why we're seeing Hunter Johnson, John Hernandez, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Jimmy Cocker, and Michael Wallace, and several others stay out. As you mentioned, Brody Falliker, Andrew Zappi, Mark Santucci, Matt Sisler, Mike Poppy Bear Campbell. He's still on pit road as well. But a lot of bent up sheet metal in this most recent wreck. And very unfortunate for a few of the guys that have been up in the front all night long.
Yeah, Folliker, he's going to have a lot to try to make his way on back up to the front. He's going to need a couple of cautions to do so. So we'll see what he can do out here. But, man, not what you want to see. But meanwhile, Hunter Johnson, he's going to be leading the field back to green. And he is no stranger to racing with Jonathan Hernandez. They have another league that they have raced in for several years now. So these two definitely know each other and have raced with each other plenty of times.
You know what I'd love to see iRacing implement, Eliza? That would be the choose rule, where you could actually choose to go low or choose to go high, not it tell you where to go. But yeah, looks like the one is chosen the high side. The 32 of Hunter Johnson on the bottom. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Jimmy Cocker, and Rivers Jones going to be your top 5. Michael Walls, Matt Oplinger, Brendan Book moving his way on up. Francis Hamilton and Joe Berg to round out the top 10. Eliza, lights atop the pace truck are out. Everybody's back double file. See a few rocking back and forth, trying to continue to build or keep a little bit of heat in those tires, ready to go back green as soon as we get through 3 and 4.
I'm a little surprised that a couple of these guys that are blinking have not been called out by admins to drop to the back. I know we try to keep it, we don't want to affect their race. We really don't. But it's been a lot of blinking tonight from a couple of these drivers. And I don't know if you heard, Pete, but iRacing is coming out with a new rule where if you are blinking to a certain amount, they will just pull you off the track.
Oh, no, I had not heard that. That's going to be an interesting update. A lot of stack up here as we go back green. Looks like the one just didn't quite get the jump that everybody else behind him wanted. Meanwhile, the 00, he's giving a big old shot to the back end of Hunter Johnson on the bottom side, right along with the 47 of Michael Walls. And just now it looks like we're all back stuck in one long train on both the bottom and the top side.
Scary situation, that 00 just disappearing and reappearing directly in front of, I do believe that is the 47. So,
now I see it.
Yeah, he is gone for a while there. Really scary when you do not know where they are, but take a look at this. 3 wide, that's going to be the 20, the 7, and the 2 of Josh Taylor, who has gained 26 spots tonight. So a great race, and, it's just a little scary up here. 3 wide all the way through for a certain amount of cars here. It's going to be getting a little sketchy.
Yeah, you see the 24. I believe that's going to be the 7 above him. And then that's going to be the 93 of Joe Berg right now, sitting P13 with some that have unfortunately that incurred some damage, still sitting on pit road or maybe riding around a little bit further in the back, still trying to collect as many points as possible. Back double file go the 20 and the 24. The 2 of Josh Taylor, as you mentioned a little bit ago, up several spots. 24 right now rocking the high side.
Yeah, you can see him up ahead of Joe Berg, who we're on board with currently. He's directly behind Matthew Opliger, who does have a win this season. You can see Matthew Opliger getting fishtailing here through the exit of 2. So it is extremely loose. Joe Berg doing a great job of holding on to this machine, but these guys are keeping extremely busy with car conditions out here.
So these spotters got to be screaming high and low, clear high, now not clear, and man, so many different spots, and everybody tries to get it right at the get-go, because if you do get to see a little bit of separation, or you wear out your tires a little bit more than others, they're just gonna get a little bit more spread out. And this being a very big draft track, just, I want to say just like a Daytona or a Talladega or an Atlanta, but as you can see, it is definitely pack style racing, and these Gen 6 cars seem to love it.
Yeah, these drivers putting the pressure on each other. 3 wide with Joe Berg, the 5 of Brendan Book, and Thomas Harmon, who has moved up here into 12th currently as they're going 3 wide. But man, they are jockeying for a position all throughout this field. Absolutely incredible, but this is when these cautions come out. There's not a lot of room. You break loose kind of randomly, I will say, off the exits especially. So these guys are going to have to watch their sides.
How about Jimmy Cocker taking a long run off the corner, deciding to go ahead and dive it in. Right now getting pinched down on the bottom for the lead, right along with 32. 32 is going to slide way up. I mean, he just made like a 4-lane shift coming up and off the corner. Now back down again in front of Jimmy Cocker. Jimmy Cocker, I don't think he actually led that one, but Eliza, he's got one of the best chances to go ahead and grab a point for doing just that he's had all race long.
Cocker has his teammate 48 of Francis Hamilton directly behind him. I knew he'd be up there, and here he is for some help at Hunter Johnson out in the lead. He's got Jonathan Hernandez to his outside. He is on Output Racing. Rivers Jones, he's back up here. The 24 is going to spin. He hits the wall to the inside. I don't know if other drivers were involved, but so far it is still green out here as he is off the track currently.
Yeah, 24, it just seemed like it was a hard left straight to the inside wall. No way to lock it down or no way to steer out of it, I should say. It was absolutely locked down. Eliza 4 wide for P2.
We go 4 wide, and he is blinking out. Just contact all over the place as they are 4 wide. The one gets hooked. It is going to be around. Caution is out. Just and
oh, there was no, it just really seemed like the 47 was going to try to make that 5 wide, and it was not going to work. And unfortunately, the one car is going to be on the tail end of that, and around he went.
I'm kind of curious if they will call him off the track at this point, as you know, there's just a lot of blinking, and it's so hard to see where these drivers are when you're blinking. You just hope that they are not on you when they come back, but just tough break, because I know Jonathan Hernandez and Jurgensmeyer, extremely fast drivers, but man, it is very difficult to know what's going on when you have drivers and competitors blinking out next to you.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate. You know, the one machine, very, very fast. Ben inside the top 5 all night long. I know you and the other admins go back and review each incident that brings out a caution every single week. It'll be interesting to see what you and Brendan Book and some of the others find with the 47 in this wreck as the week goes on.
McGraw, Jose Ruiz, both for FTR, have not gone in. Rob Newman, he also stays out here. So we'll see how that goes with these drivers. I'm going to take a look. Pit strategy-wise, 12-lap-old tires, so they do have fresher tires than the remainder of the field before they went in. But now Brody Folliker, stays out. He's going to make his way back in. No, he actually went in. So here comes massive amount of drivers off of pit lane. See where they round out, Pete.
What do you say? We talk to the one and only J-Max, see what he's feeling about his car, how secure it is. That Sega machine looks pretty clean so far.
Absolutely. Bring him on in.
That didn't work. Hold on. Where did I... okay, hold on. Try this again.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, it keeps...
Want me to do it?
Yeah, it's not allowing me to pull him for some reason.
Really? All
Yeah.
right, we'll get him in here. Oops. All right, we got Jordan McGraw out here in the booth. It's Eliza. How you doing out here?
Oh, I'm doing just lovely.
Take us through your strategy. I know it's been very, very tight this race. We see you up front, so tire strategy. How you feeling as you're going back to green?
I mean, yeah, that got stuck on the bottom on the first run and got just leapfrogged all the way to the back, and decided to take tires the previous caution just to do something different, see if we could get some track position, and it was working, but we can't get green flag racing when we need it. So instead of burning another set of tires, here we are out front on older tires, and this will probably not be a lot of fun, but we'll see what we can do.
Well, hopefully we can survive it and get a good finish for you tonight. I know it's been a rough start to the season, but here you out front, so hopefully we'll have some good luck moving forward.
It certainly would be nice, but we'll see what happens here.
All right, Jordan, good luck to you. These guys getting ready to go back to green once again. Jordan going to be leading the field along with teammate Jose Ruiz right beside him.
Yeah, Liza, I'm kind of curious if they actually chose to do this together, or if it just by pure happenstance that they both decided to stay out. They both went down pit road on lap 51, topped off, and grabbed those brand new Eagle Feel Goods. They're going to have Rob Newman and Michael Walls right along, as well as Brendan Book to round out the top 5. Flagman's waving them on. Let's go back green.
I don't know what happened in that inside line, but behind Jordan, they did not go. We are 3 and 4 wide almost. These guys just absolutely crazy. Robert Newman, middle line. He's going to be in that sucker hole, falling back quite a bit, but Jordan McGraw still out here in the lead. Can he get a lap led and that bonus point? We're going to have the 47 just absolutely drive it to the inside. He takes over the lead.
At 47, who just went down pit road on lap 63. That goes to show exactly what Jordan McGraw was talking about. He literally just got pushed to the back, and there was nothing at all that he could say about it. Hunter Johnson, Brendan Book, Rivers Jones, and J-Mac. So in the matter of a half a lap, J-Mac now falling back to P6 and more. Everybody that's got those new tires really putting them to use on both the high side and the low side coming through the corner.
Dr. DK, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the race. But man, 2 side by side. That's going to be Michael Walls, Hunter Johnson out here battling it for the lead. Brendan Book directly behind. And we're going to have Rivers Jones, who we've seen up here so much this race. He is out here sitting 4th. We have another wreck. Mid-pack is going to be Honeycutt involved. We have Philip Bridgman involved. Man, it just tough goings tonight, Pete. Let's take a look, see what happened.
Yeah, unfortunately, I just saw those rainbow colors flash across the screen to the left. And yeah, Honeycutt unfortunately involved as well. Looks like the 24 is going to end up with more damage than anyone else out of this one, though.
We can't bring out the chase cam, find out exactly what happened here. Like possibly the 27 moved up the track a little bit, made some contact with the 50, and the 50 collected the 24, and kind of a mess out there.
Yeah, you see the 50 really had to check up. He ends up spinning around, but locking it down. Doesn't get collected by anybody else, or I should say nobody else really collects him. But that 24, all kinds of damage in the front and the rear. He'll have to spend some time on pit road to fix that thing up if he hopes to continue on with any decent amount of speed.
See Brody Follicker out there involved in an earlier incident. Sits P25 as he is trying to make his way to the front of the field. Some takers for pit lane is going to be Joseph Turley, Dylan C. Robb, Andrew Sanford, Joe Berg, Matthew Gale, Brody Follicker, Drew Zaff, Jonathan Hernandez, Jurgensmeyer, Bridgman. Quite a few drivers there, Pete.
Yeah, and I tell you what, talking about Joe Turley, I was spotting in one of the top split NIS races the other evening, and Joe Turley was actually in there. And I kept on thinking about some of the comments that we've made back and forth about the strength of this shake and bake field and the I rating that they all hold, the licenses and whatnot. And again, it was just another bit that made me remember how strong these drivers are in this community to be in top split NIS official races.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys do so much racing, and you have 24-hour races. They go in the moon car races. Just incredible the amount of talent that these drivers do have. I love to see it. I love to see the growth. We talk about it all the time. And I love seeing new drivers. Michael Walls, he is out here in Shake and Bake. I do believe this is his first season with us. If not, he joined later last season. But yeah, just really great to see everyone out here. We have Brendan Book, who's been with us since Xbox days. So many years. I just did his profile picture for him tonight. He's got a little fire suit happening there. Hunter Johnson in third, Rivers Jones in fourth, and Jimmy Cocker going to round out the top 5.
That looks so official. That really does. How about Dr. Decay out there says, just got into iRacing, so I've been looking for some good streams to watch, and this is absolutely awesome. Love the coverage like a real televised event. Awesome to see. Well, Dr. Decay, welcome to iRacing. It's a phenomenal bit. Good luck going through your licenses and getting your tracks and your vehicles and all that. Good luck, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know what you're racing and what's your favorite so far, favorite track car combo. Love to hear about it. So it's nerve-wracking. It's exciting when you first get on iRacing. It's a little overwhelming. But yeah, once you get used to it, it can be a lot of fun. Just got to stay out of trouble.
Absolutely. As you go through your licenses, you can actually lose your licenses as well. It's not just an all give. They will take as well. Talking about taking, the pace truck is about to pull off down onto pit road, and the flagman's about to put it back out yet again. The 47 of Michael Walls is the leader. Brendan Book, Rivers Jones, Hunter Johnson, and Francis Hamilton are our top 5. But GOAT Motorsports on that high side, about to put us back under green, Eliza. Let's go.
Yeah, they are stacked up all the way through, back to green. Once again, these guys just going for everything as we are on lap 72 of 134 side by side, all the way through. The 5 on the low side. We have Micah on the outside. The 5 swings it up to the high side as we are 3 wide in the mid part of the pack here.
How about Brendan Book and that big old power move to move it to the bottom right in front of his good buddy in that 32. Now they're side by side. You see cars pulling all the way down to the apron. Right now, Jimmy Cocker also on the bottom. That's the 20 rather, of Matt Opliger. Here he comes.
Yeah, 3 wide currently, and Dr. DK says he's been running some street stocks getting into oval racing. Yeah, they're going to get a little bit more challenging as you move up through, and these cars, the Gen 6, they do have a lot of horsepower out here, so they do get loose. Makes for really fun racing, but man, you're going to see some cautions out here. It is tight, it is loose, it is everything you can think of, and racing is so much fun.
Oh, it absolutely is. That's one thing that everybody here absolutely shares. No matter what kind of competitive bone they've got in their body, they're all here because they love racing. They love the camaraderie that they build with the other racers. They love getting into all the different style cars, the different tracks that we run. It's a whole great time, and it can be very rewarding as well, especially when you grab that first W, that first championship, whether you're going to stick with just the fixed races or the open races, whether you're into dirt or oval racing, F1, Indy. There's so many different disciplines that you can enjoy here on iRacing. But right now, that 47 of Michael Walls, he's enjoying the lead.
He sure is enjoying that clean air, and I'll tell you what, nose to tail for these top 3 drivers. We had Rivers Jones just right on the tail of that 47, the 32 right on the back bumper of that 91, and Jimmy Cocker has made his way up to P4, so very, very tight. Hunter Johnson going to stick it really tight to the side of that 91 as he dives it down low to take the lead. Currently, he's on that low side by himself, so I don't think he's going to be able to keep it as he has no help on that low side.
No help whatsoever. Like we saw him push the 5 of Brendan Book up. Well, 5 right now finds himself in P5 on the high side. Oh, that was a little, he kind of cleared himself right there, but he got very, very lucky. And the 47 is going to go around.
leader goes around. Hunter Johnson involved in that as I think just a bad push perhaps, but man, really, really tough break, and it looks like Honeycutt involved once again, but Rivers Jones, he will be your leader as we come to our 7th caution of the night. Absolutely crazy. Last week, Pete, we had a ton of green flag laps at the start of the race, all the way to about 25 to go, and then the havoc started right there. A lot of cautions to end the race, but this has been a consistent amount of cautions just coming tonight.
Yeah, when caution number 1 flew, and then we had a good 30 to 35 lap run, it felt really, really good. You were definitely able to see which cars were able to move their way to the front because they conserve their tires. I think it's a little early to get into the whole cautions breed cautions kind of a thing. But right now, Rivers Jones says, hey, you guys want to demolish yourselves in the back, I'll keep myself right here. And Jimmy Cocker also finds himself up 6 spots to run P2. Hunter Johnson, Maggio, and Brendan Book to round out the top 5. Yeah, it's going to be a bit too much carnage for just still being in the first half of the race.
Yeah, that is so crazy. Rivers Jones, though, he's going to be out here as the leader. Dr. DK, thank you so much for the gifted subs. I appreciate it so much. Absolutely amazing. To Combat Beast, who is actually in the field tonight. Evan, Sly Fox, Josiah, and Rangers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Huge props to you. Show them some love in chat.
Absolutely, that's absolutely phenomenal. Comes in and hits that follow button, which is sometimes the biggest step. And then not only new following, but he's going to go ahead and gift a bunch of subscriptions to guys that he hasn't talked to yet in chat or anything like that. I haven't seen that Rangers gamer tag in quite a long time. I think it'd probably be going back to AKA days.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't talked to Rangers. At least I don't think I have in that long. After a while, the gamer tags fall by the wayside, and their real names kind of fill that spot when you get to talk to them during league nights and whatnot. But yeah, I think it's been a while.
Very nice though. Yeah, he raced. I do believe he did come out this season actually and race a race. So hopefully we'll see another few races from him. Polish, I see you out there. What's up? Send in Rage, who is Hunter Johnson, said, my bad. Bad push there. So definitely happens. It's tight racing out here. It's tough. It's tough. As Vegas is tight, you're going to see a lot of pushing, and it can get a little sketchy out here.
Yeah, the push that the 5 of Brendan Book got from the 32 through the second half of the corner and onto the straights, the way the 5 was able to hold on to that was actually really, really good. Not everybody can handle that kind of a shot, but we're about to go back green here in just a little bit. The 91 of Rivers Jones, he's no stranger to the front. He was up there earlier. Hunter Johnson's still there. Stephen Maggio, Jimmy Cocker, Francis Hamilton in that 48. Down the backstretch, Eliza going to go back green here to start lap 81 of 134. I thought we were still in the first half of the race before. Guess not.
Oh, we are in the second half, stage 2 here. Bonus points have been awarded to those from stage 1, and that happened a while ago. But man, this racing has been absolutely intense, insane. Silent Boy, I see you out there. I appreciate it. Dr. DK, you guys are awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Rivers Jones leading us out here in the field. Gained 6 positions from where he started tonight. You can see him revving up that engine. As we go to green, Hunter Johnson on that high side. A nice start for Rivers here as he leaves. Jimmy Cocker a little bit behind. He's going to have that lane choice as he moves around the track.
Yeah, one advantage that the control car always has. They're the first one on that loud pedal, so they're able to get up and go away, as it looks like Connor Cunningham, who we just talked about a little bit ago, back there in that famed number 3 GM good wrench machine, tags that outside wall just a little bit. Are we going to have a fight for the lead on the high side? Nope, nowhere to go just then and there. But yeah, Hunter Johnson, he's hungry to get back into the clean air.
Nowhere to go, as we are just nose to tail, too wide all the way through. These guys just have no give, and there is 3 wide. This is around P14 midfield, and they are all over the place trying to gain positions.
Absolutely looks like 32's hard up into the outside wall, able to keep it there for the most part, just really wrapping the safer barrier, and is going to lose all kinds of spots. So good job by him for making contact with the wall, but not pulling straight left to get it away and causing yet another big one. All kinds of traffic ahead of him to try to get back into the lead, though.
This is going to be for about P5, and we have another one. I was just going to say these guys are 3 wide, and out comes a caution. What in the world is going on? Luke Allen involved.
Yep, Luke Allen, Brendan Book, Matt Gale, John Honeycutt, Jose Ruiz, unfortunately involved in this one as well. Quite a bit more carnage.
You can already see as soon as they bring the camera on it, Brendan Book is around. Looks like it's going to be Micah Allard who hooks the 5 car and just kind of turns him around, and Brendan has nowhere to go, and a lot of carnage on this one.
Yeah, it kind of looked like maybe the 61 got a big run and had nowhere to go with it, and tried to not give the car in front of him too big of a shot, pulled down, and unfortunately we just saw what happened from there.
Gonna be a busy night for admins out here, as we do go through every caution, find out what's happened, and if you are at fault, you will get an EOL at the start of the next race. So we're gonna keep us busy tonight, Pete.
Yeah, not only that, if you end up, if the admins find that you cause more than one, it's not just an EOL, but you also then have to start at the tail end of the longest line. If you have more incidents than that, the progression of the penalty does get worse and worse. So you really got to try to mind your P's and Q's and stay out of trouble for the most part as much as you can throughout the evening. Rivers Jones, Jimmy Cocker, Joe Turley, Matt Burgess. First time we're talking about Matt being up inside the top 5, right along with Philip Bridgman as well. Jordan McGraw, after he stayed out and last went down pit road on lap 61, well, now he's last on pit road lap 78. So a bit newer rubber for him. Rob Newman, Brody Falliker, Dylan Robb, and Andrew Sanford to round out the top 10. But how about Rivers Jones, Eliza?
Yeah, Rivers Jones, he does stay out though. 21 Lapple tires. Kind of interesting on that. These guys do get 4 sets to do whatever they need to do with for 134 laps. We'll see what happens here on this restart, but interesting call for Rivers Jones and Jimmy Cocker. Joseph Turley, he's got pretty fresh tires. The next several drivers do. Brody Folliker, he's got 15 lap-old tires if he did not just go in.
It'll be interesting to see if the same thing happens to Rivers Jones and Jimmy Cocker, like what we saw happen with Jose Ruiz and Jordan McGraw on one of the last couple of restarts. But I believe stage 2 ends on lap 94, if I remember correctly. So are we going to see a big fight to get up and stay inside the top 10, the best possible position that you can, or do you think we go green here?
Well, the stages, Pete, it's just that's the length that it is. It's 94 laps. It ended on lap 30, I do believe. Have to take a look. Let's bring up that graphic to be sure here. At 40, lap 40, so that was the end of stage 1. So anything after that's just the final stage, stage 2.
Okay, I thought it said 30 and then 94 or something. Oh, okay, I see it. Okay, 40 and then the rest of it. Okay, I'll be quiet now.
You're not the first person to have confusion over that, so.
Well, I see it every week.
Compared to last season when we had the stages, 3 of them,
Yeah.
it's displayed a little differently. So I get it. I get it.
Turning 50 this year. I get a little.
Are you really?
Yeah. I tell you.
Bananas.
But here we go. Rivers Jones going to be the one again, by virtue of being the control car, will be able to go ahead and grab that loud pedal and the first gear. Trying to shoot on out. Looks like he's going to get right with the 13 of Joe Turley. So those two going to end up nose to tail. Jimmy Cocker right now going to be P3. And how about P4 up on that high side? Matt Burgess in that Texaco machine. First time he's going to be inside the top 5. Sitting about P1 after having a great qualifying effort, and Philip Bridgman in that rainbow-colored car after seeing him almost go totaled on that inside wall, battling for number 2, 3 wide.
Pete, I don't even know where to look. We got 3 wide for P2. We have 3 wide all the way through the field, almost 4 wide. The 33 is going to bounce off the 3. The 3 is trying to save it as he hits the apron. Fantastic job by Connor Cunningham as he saves it, but the 37 spins around. Josh Taylor. We have several drivers. It looks like Joseph Turley possibly involved. These drivers, we're going to have to calm it down. I'm telling you. They're going 3 and 4 wide, and these cars are just loose. They're getting tight. You're seeing a little bit of everything here. But to go back, Polish Hammer says, for the record, I cringed watching back the video of Fontana because you kept calling me by my real name. Good sir. I'm not going to call you Polish Hammer out here. Everyone's going to be all confused, so you will be David Moransky out here.
There you go.
On iRacing. Dr. DK, how do you get into leagues like this? Okay, so I own this league. Basically, we do have a license that you have to meet. You have to get to B license 2.0 safety rating. A lot of these guys are like in the 4,000 I rating, 3,000 and whatnot. But yeah, so if it comes to it and you get that license, let me know.
There you go. It'd be interesting to see out here and see how you do. But do me a favor, all right? And this being all sincere, okay? Don't rush yourself through the license. Don't just say I want to burn through everything and get up to cup as quick as I can. Go through each license, learn what you can through each level, and then progress from there. If you want to get into league racing, find maybe a beginner league or something like that. But please don't rush through it. Learn all you can. That way you can excel on track later on. Trust me.
We have about 20 drivers on pit lane currently. Brody Folliker making his way off of pit lane. He's been involved in at least one incident tonight through no fault of his own. But man, absolute mayhem tonight. When we said we're going to Vegas, we knew it was going to be tight, but I did not think it was going to be this chaotic, Pete.
Yeah, at times it seems like we're putting that ball on a roulette wheel and spinning it, and wherever that ball stops, wherever seeing a car up in the outside wall. But I tell you, this last wreck with Joe Berg, Josh Taylor, Jonathan Hernandez, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Hernandez and Jurgensmeyer both very, very fast. The 00, and of course the one that we saw blinking a little bit looked like he got a little bit more stable as the night went on. Joe Berg, we talked to him in pre-race. Andrew Sanford, same thing. So some FIWB teammates finding trouble in this most recent wreck. As you said, more and more cars on pit road having to spend the time to get it fixed up. Meanwhile, Rivers Jones and Jimmy Cocker, they're leading the way.
They are leading the way, doing a fantastic job. Both these drivers just having a phenomenal night. And I don't want to jinx them, but yeah, they've been running well. All night, we have Philip Bridgman out here in 4th, Joseph Turley in 3rd. Up 26 spots for Joseph Turley, 27 spots for Philip Bridgman. So a great job to them. Matt Burgess, he's out here exactly where he started. So great night. Matthew Opliger up 17 spots, sitting P6. Jordan McGraw in 7th. Austin Mitty 8th. Francis Hamilton 9th, and Rob Newman, Mr. Birthday Boy, here tonight. He's up 27 spots.
Yeah, Connor Cunningham in that fame number 3, also up 27, sitting in P12. Drew Zappi, he's up 14 back in P16. Not many people are right where they started, but this is going to be a great restart. Pace Truck's going to pull off here momentarily and bring us back into green. Rivers Jones, he'll be able to go ahead and jump on that throttle, make his way through the gears, going through turns 1 and 2. Will he see the 13 right on his back bumper like he did in the last restart? We're about to find out in the restart zone. Let's go.
Joseph Turley, he had a wild start and had to back it off of Rivers Jones there. He is now side by side with Jimmy Cocker as our leader Rivers Jones has a nice little gap to start, but I guarantee that might close up. But I'll tell you, he did have a nice gap earlier in the race. We'll see if he can continue that.
3 wide right now for P number 4. The 20 had a huge run off of turn number 2. He's got the 24 underneath. That's going to be Philip Bridgman in the 57, a little bit lower. Jimmy Cocker trying to keep it off the turn 4 wall, trying to rush ahead. He's got all kinds of trouble right behind him.
This is where you need to have that communication and just say, I need a little bit of room. I'm in the wall, or I'm about to be. Just a lot of communication when you're going 2, 3 wide. You have to depend on that spotter, and it's a virtual spotter. We're going 4 wide for P5 here. Very, very tight racing. These guys going back down to 3, but man, oh man, sketchy out here.
Very smart by Joe Turley in that number 13 to back out of that, not keep it 4 wide. That with the way that wall comes up and could bite you, that would have been very bad. There's no way they would have fit 4 wide. They're going to try it again. This time Joe Turley is ahead of the 7. You see the 5 of Brendan Book right there as well. All kinds of rocking back and forth going down the Nellis straightaway into turn 3.
Brendan Book was one involved in an earlier incident. You can see he's directly behind that 68 machine of Thomas Harmon. Joseph Turley on the inside, and that 13 machine. Brendan Book going to stay on that high side, possibly 2 wide. Yeah, he's almost 3 wide, but he's got that 7 to his inside. The 9 stuck 3 wide in the center, which when you're this loose, it is not a good place to be.
Yeah, the 9 just squeezed the 68 up into the outside wall. For the most part, everybody behind them were able to scatter and save their machine. But that frozen number 68, I think you're probably going to see a little bit of right side damage after making that contact.
Something happened to Rivers Jones. He is falling and falling hard. He is back here in 13th. Meanwhile, our new leader is going to be Matthew Opliger with Francis Hamilton in 2nd. Jimmy Cocker 3rd, Philip Bridgman 4th, and Matt Burgess in 5th.
Just saw the 3 of Connor Cunningham make a sharp left down towards the apron. Not quite sure if that was all loose or if there was any contact, but towards that inside wall he went, and looks like he was able to save it. Good job.
He was able to save that. Matthew Opliger with a nice little gap between him and 2nd. That's going to be Francis Hamilton in the 48. He's got teammate Jimmy Cocker for FIWB directly behind. A little bit of contact with that wall that's going to cause these drivers to fan out once again to make their way around. But man, there is no give into this track. It is just so incredibly tight.
Yeah, I think some of these guys have really come to expect a lot of contact coming off the corner when you're 2 and 3 wide. Some even choosing to try to push it 4 wide. It's not going to work on any side of Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Looks like the top 3 right now, actually top 7 right now, all nose to tail. Look at the 42 of Brody Falliker, last season's champion, trying to work his way back up right now, showing P7 after some contact earlier.
Directly behind Luke Allen. You can see him trying to make his way back up once again. Just a roller coaster of a race for Brody Falliker and a couple of these other drivers moving up in front of that number 9 machine of Austin Mitty. Is going to be close racing for these drivers. Matthew Opliger, who won last week at Auto Club. You can say these tracks are pretty similar. He's having a strong run here at the later part of the race. Can he get back-to-back races? We'll see.
I tell you what, that 9 is very, very strong. up and off the corner. Of course, talking about, as you just said, Austin Mitty up 24 spots. He's seen some kind of slide up in front of him off the corner, and when he's carrying that much momentum, he can't exactly roll out of it, because then he gets hit from behind, or he ends up getting placed on the wrecker himself. But a lot of movement for that number 9, making up a lot of ground this evening.
Inside line trying to make something happen. Meanwhile, Jimmy Cocker's on that outside. No help, but he's now has Brendan Book in the 5 machine coming up to try to help. Clean air is huge in here. These drivers are going to take any line they can that has clean air in front of them. That way they are not getting too loose or too tight in that draft.
How about the 20 of Matt Oplinger? We talked about him earlier and how much we both knew after all the success that he had last week to never ever count him out. Well, here comes Steven Maggio on the bottom side in that Twisted Tea number 51. He's going to go ahead and try to grab another lap for himself, side by side through 1 and 2.
And by side, and these two drivers already have a win. Steven Maggio, he won at Phoenix. Matthew Opliger, he won last week at Auto Club. They are in the lead, and Brody Folliger, where did he come from? He is already up here, sitting 3rd. He is out here side by side almost. The 48 give him a huge shove. He is now going to be too wide for P2.
I would have never thought that 5-lap fresher tires would mean this much, but we're watching the 42 literally get underneath the 51. He's going to be able to carry a little bit more momentum up and off the corner. The 51 giving a shot to the 20 down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. 42 down low. 9's going to go ahead and join them. Here comes the 48 of Francis Hamilton up and off the corner. I think the 42 is just waiting to see which line is going to move better for him to go.
You can take this anywhere you can, but 3 wide for the lead. The 42 on the inside. He's going to move up a little bit. The 51 moves up into the 20. They are now 2 wide once again for the lead here at Las Vegas. The 48 on the bumper of the 42 gets him a little loose, but he holds on to it. The 11 almost into the wall. He's going to fall back, Pete.
Yeah, Jimmy Cocker falling back just a little bit, falls into the hands of the 5 of Brendan Book. Meanwhile, for P2, Brody Falliker, Matt Oplinger, now they find themselves side by side. 51 of Steven Maggio has a clean bill of health for the front. Everybody behind him wants to take it from him, but so far, no real takers. But look at Francis Hamilton in that Detroit Tigers number 48. He was last on pit road lap 84, so he's making those tires work for him, wrapping the high side, the 9 and the 7. How about old Luke Allen working his way back up?
On board with Francis Hamilton. I'll tell you what, he had such huge momentum on that high side. He's going to be right behind teammate in that 42. He's going to take it to the outside as we come down the backstretch here into turn 3.
Yeah, we're seeing fewer and fewer cars up inside the top 5, top 10 as far as being all clustered together. Behind them, it's very, very scattered. So some cars with different levels of damage that are back out on track, meeting minimum speeds to be able to continue on. But that 48, he's going to go back high. 42 is going to go low. So we're still seeing a great battle for the top spot. But how about the battle between the 9, the 5, the 11, and just as I say that, Joe Turley into 13 tags that wall and makes the 68 perform a little bit of evasive driving.
The 11, that's Thomas Harmon. He's got the 16 behind him. He's got Jordan McGraw right in front of him. So these guys starting to spread out just a little bit. That's going to give these guys some breathing room. Maybe some long green flag laps. That's exactly what we need and what we want to see. Rivers Jones, he was our leader. He's currently sitting P9. He's down 2 spots from where he started. Jimmy Cocker, you can see he feels the pressure. He wants to get back up there. And Brody Folliker, he's down to P5th. You know, I say down to P5th, but man, still in the top 5. Fantastic for him. Luke Allen, he's up to P5.
A little bit of contact there between teammates with Jimmy Cocker and the 42 of Brody Falliker. Not quite sure if you can really drive these things when the rear end is lifted up off the track, but it seems like that's exactly what happened there. The 7 now finds himself in P5, everybody up against the wall down the Nellis straightaway into turn 3 one more time, working lap 109, coming to 110 of 134. As we're getting closer and closer to 25 to go and finding out who's going to win this thing here tonight from Vegas.
Ah, man, Rivers Jones, he's got the oldest tires out here at 45 laps. No wonder he is struggling a little bit, still doing fantastic in the top 10. But I'm kind of worried about his tires out here. How are they feeling? What's he going to feel like, as these guys are probably getting pretty tight or loose depending on where they are in the track. But single file currently is going to help these guys try to keep control of their car. Meanwhile, Hunter Johnson off track. He goes directly in front of Joseph Turley. Joseph is around.
Your lap one time real quick.
Yeah, so far, yep, there's caution number 10 on the evening as we just get to 24 laps remaining. I think for the most part able to save it. Didn't hit anything, so he'll be able to continue on. Maybe if he's got a set of tires left, he can go down pit road, grab his what could possibly be his last set. But Stephen Maggio collects the entire field. Everybody behind the pace car. We'll have to see who comes down or who has to stay out, because maybe they've got nothing left.
And just tough, when you're pulling up in the track at that speed, and it's a tough corner because these guys are under a lot of tire wear and you're getting loose. So I don't know that Turley could have done anything there.
Here we go. So it looks like Maggio's going to bring everybody down pit road, everybody that's still left on the lead lap. So it's great to see that everybody's got a set of tires yet, or maybe they just got to go down for maybe a splash and go if they were short on fuel, which I don't think would be the case. But Liza, I think we're in for a shootout.
I think so. This is going to make things a little crazier to end it on. Connor Cunningham, you can see him leading out here in that 3 machine. The 57, he's going to be directly behind, but these guys trying to get those laps back, perhaps. So we'll see if they're able to do so.
Yeah, Connor Cunningham, last time he was on pit road was on lap 84. Looks like it was a 4 tire change. He had a pit time just about a little over 15 seconds. So I think he's just out there, Eliza. He knows that he may not have the speed in that 3 to really get on up there with the leader. So staying out a lap to grab that point for leading one. Lights atop the pace truck are still on. So we'll see if he comes on down pit road this time. Yeah, it would be end of line penalty for him. But hey, if you can grab a point for doing it, why not?
I'm looking at Connor Cunningham, his tires. He's got 27 lap old tires. I have a feeling that he's thinking that we're going to have another caution out here, which is a fair assumption. So I don't think he's too concerned about tires yet. We have 23 to go at the moment here. He's going to need another caution.
Well, I tell you what, more other things he's going to need. He's going to really need to hold on, because he's got Brody Falliker, Stephen Maggio, Matt Oplinger, Luke Allen, Francis Hamilton, Jimmy Cocker, just to name a few that we talk about every single week, all lined up behind him. They just came off the pit road with 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods. So that GM Good wrench is really going to have to, as they told Dale long time ago, make that car really wide if he plans to try to hold on.
Dr. DK, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it. That is absolutely amazing. Thank you for all the support tonight. I appreciate it, and I wish you luck moving forward in your journey here on iRacing. He says, going to be an exciting journey for sure, and seeing stuff like this is just awesome. It's fun to do. It's fun to watch these guys have a lot of talent and do what they do, but man, absolute mayhem out here at Las Vegas. We've never raced these. This is our first season in these cars, Pete. So these drivers are learning just like we are here in the booth.
Absolutely, yeah. Broadcasting these races is absolutely a labor of love. I love getting behind the wheel and running myself. Actually got a win at Daytona last week. But here we go. Green flag is going to be displayed with 21 laps remaining. Usually you get 21 at Vegas, you're sitting pretty good. 3's hard on the throttle. Here we go.
I have a feeling that 3 is going to have to do some defending, but I don't know how much he can do on these old tires. He's going to have Steven Maggio directly behind, who was leading the field before. He's going to take it to the outside, and he's going to have a ton of momentum. We're going to have a lot of drivers take it down low. He's going to be 3 wide, the 48 down low. That's Francis Hamilton. The 3 in the middle here. He's in the sucker hole, Pete.
Yeah, he's in the sucker hole, but you know what? He's also not he's not on the bottom and he's not on top, where both with these newer tires, this deep in a race, they all know exactly what to expect when the tires are that, we'll just use the word green. So the 9 kind of dancing around with the 20 of Opliger. It looks like the 91, I believe that is. Yep, Rivers Jones up by the high wall. But Steven Maggio, Francis Hamilton, Brody Falker, and Jimmy Cocker really hard on the throttle coming through turns 3 and 4. Right now, Eliza, it's anybody's race, but Steven Maggio, he's got to defend.
Steven Maggio right there in the lead, but Francis Hamilton not too far behind the 42. These guys are getting really, really aggressive with 19 laps to go. Can we keep it green? I want to say we can, but man, these guys are elbows out officially.
Absolutely, there we go. Francis Hamilton finds a hole down low. It looks like the 51's going to go ahead and pinch him down through turns 3 and 4, up and off. 48 does a great job not losing the rear end. Here comes the 20 of Opliger. He's going to make it double wide for about P2, P3. 42, we learned last season to never, ever count him out. At the end of season 3, he was gaining all kinds of momentum. Last season wins the championship. Tonight, he wants the checkers here in Vegas.
42 is up here to help his teammate, the 48 of Francis Hamilton. We'll see what he can do to help his teammate get up here and get his first win of the season. I know Brody would love one too, but Steven Maggio, incredibly strong out here on this short run. A lot of speed. Rivers Jones up here doing a phenomenal job sitting P4 in that 91. We have 50 of John Honeycutt below the track here as he's trying to make his way back, but too wide all the way through, Pete.
Yeah, Opliger carrying a whole lot of momentum on the high side. It was a very good idea of the 51 not to come up last time to try to pick up that line. Otherwise, he might have had his rear tires lifted up off the track. Nose to tail are the top 2. Same thing for 3rd and 4th. But that 48 still getting a big shove from the 42 on the bottom, trying to catch up or keep up with the leaders. Rivers Jones finds himself in P3. Meyer just behind the top 2.
These packs have separated a bit, but we have a new leader. It was going to be Opliger, but now, again, we have Steven Maggio to the lead with Rivers Jones on that high side. Meanwhile, let's take a look. We have about, I want to say, our top 14 out here in the front pack. Micah Allard is going to lead the second pack. That is P15, so we do have some separation.
Yeah, Mike Allard's got Jonathan Jurgensmeyer right with him. Jurgensmeyer spent a bit of time up front for himself, but ended up getting collected in a little bit of a wreck earlier. I don't know how much time he was able to spend on pit road to get that 00 fixed up just a bit. Looks like he's sitting about P16, down 6 spots from where he qualified, but he's got a point for leading a lap. Right now, he just wants to run all the rest of these laps and gain as many spots as he can.
Up here up front, Steven Maggio, our top 5 drivers, single file currently. Some take it high to get that clean air, others low. And now we're going to be 2 wide as Brody Folliker. His teammate is up ahead. This is for FIWB. That is Jimmy Cocker in the 11, Francis Hamilton in that 48. Right behind is going to be Brody Folliker in the 42 with Austin Mitty on the low side in that 9 car.
Yeah, Austin Mitty in that Napa 9, very, very familiar colors. I know kind of reps for your favorite driver. Tom Harmon, how about him after being stuffed in a wall a time or two and not exactly having the best possible race that we're accustomed to him having. Right now finds himself inside the top 10, right now running P9. And Hunter Johnson, who led a great deal of this race in that number 32, sitting P10 for himself.
Thomas Harmon, he did have that EOL. He had to serve at the start of the race. He is one of the admins here but he had to start in the back and has since made his way into the top 10. Hunter Johnson involved in a couple of incidents. He's got Austin Mitty directly below him in that 9 machine, and Philip Bridgman directly behind in that 24. Steven Maggio going side by side for the lead with Rivers Jones in that 91. If Rivers gets it, this will be his first win for this season and possibly an SnB. We'll have to verify that, but man, what a night it would be if he could get it. But on that low side, he is going to fall back, no help.
Yeah, they kind of tested out. The whole 8 tires are better than 4 for just a moment. Made a little bit of door-to-door contact. He had to get out of it not to wreck the 51 of Maggio, so good on him. Up is going to be, here comes Jimmy Cocker into P3, the 20 rather, of Opliger right with him. Rivers Jones trying to rally back to the inside of the 48 and the 42.
Rivers still on that inside. I don't know that he wants to be there, but he is indeed. We'll see if he can't make his way in line, but you do want that clean air. It is everything. You do not want to have that dirty air. It just absolutely defeats how you can take that corner, and it wears your tire as you have to put more steering input. He is going to be right behind that 48. That is Francis Hamilton, who we did see lead a few laps here. Meanwhile, Steven Maggio, he's still out front, and we have drivers going 2 wide for 2nd and 4th.
Yeah, it looks like the 42 of Brody Falliker finds himself on the inside, but roles are reversed. He was behind the 48, but it looks like the 48 of Francis Hamilton wasn't able to really get on up there. So now Opliger's behind the 42 of Falliker, going to try to run down Maggio with now less than 10 laps to go. 51's kind of extending it, 42 up on the high side, trying to carry a bunch of momentum. Everybody, looks like Francis Hamilton into the 68, and they're going to be able to save it.
They were able to save it, but I don't know if he's still able to hold on to it. Jordan McGraw off the track. I don't know how Francis held on to that. Just huge props, but not what he wants to see with 7 laps to go. These guys are going to have to go single file. You can see them right there at the top 4 or 5, but that incident has separated them. But they need to do some catching up if they want to take this win away from Steven Maggio.
As I look at the track times, or the lap times, I should say, between the top 3, Brody Falliker's been faster than Opliger 4 of the last 5 laps. So Brody Falliker faster than Opliger, and also he's been faster than Maggio all 5 of the last 5 laps. So that 42, he knows how to conserve, he knows how to get up there. He just needs that clean air, and I think we'd have a new leader.
Luke Allen, who was involved in that incident with Francis Hamilton, is on pit lane trying to repair that damage. Just so unfortunate with 6 laps to go. Coming up to 5. Steven Maggio wrapping that bottom. Brody Fowler going to take the high side. Matthew Opliger on the middle line. Jimmy Cocker, he was on the low line. So these guys really trying to take advantage of any cleaner they can get.
But you know, when push comes to shove, Jimmy Cocker, of course, going to line up right behind that 42. 42 all over the back end of the 51, hoping that he doesn't get too tight. Woo! Actually sees the 51, tag that outside wall, quickly pulls to the inside. New battle for the lead.
Absolute insanity here. The 42 trying to hold on, but it is so tough. This high side is just where it's at right now in this run. You have to keep it out there, and then you have to absolutely dive it in to make that pass. The 20 is all over the back bumper of Steven Maggio. He's making him fishtail, holding on to it, but I don't know how much longer he can hold on to this. This is coming down. We're going to go up to 3 to go. Can we hold on to it, Pete?
I think we can. I'll tell you what, though, that 20, like you said, all over the back end of that 51. You saw him getting squirrely. Rear end was fishtailing all over the place. Right now, Jimmy Cocker up behind the 20. 20 moves down onto the apron, coming through the trial. Well, 42 of Brody Falliker pulls up in front of his teammate. Going to try to get a little bit more clean air. Here comes the 32 of Hunter Johnson. He wasn't in this mix a lap or 2 ago. He's going to touch the high side wall, and it's going to cause the 91 Rivers Jones to get all over his back bumper. Top 3 starting to pull away.
Yeah, these drivers in quite the battle for fourth, but Steven Maggio still trying to hold on to this lead as we're coming up. Now 2 to go at the line here. 20 goes underneath. We're going to go 2 wide for the lead. Steven Maggio going to try to pressure him to the bottom and sneak in there. That is going to be extremely tight. This is where netcode comes in play, and we don't want to see it. The 51 makes contact with the wall, goes down low.
Yeah, 51 gets into the dirty air of the 20. 42 sees all that happen. He's going to go ahead and seize P number 2 for himself. White flag this time by Matt Opliger in the lead, up 22 spots. Can he hold on to it, Eliza?
And he hold on. He just won last week. Gets a nudge by that 42 machine who's going to try to sneak in underneath. Unable to do so. We're coming up onto the backstretch. This is it. This is where it goes. The 20 gets loose. Can he hold on to it? Incredible save. They are still 2 wide. The 42 with the nose out. Still 2 wide. We're coming off of 4. This is it right here. Can Brody steal the win here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway? He will be your winner here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Huge congratulations. Matthew Opliger going to take second. Steven Maggio third. Hunter Johnson fourth. Rivers Joan runs out your top 5.
Eliza, that was some phenomenal driving between the 51, the 42, the 20, and company. Watching them all tagging the wall, getting all kinds of squirrely. Not quite sure if they're going to be able to save it, and not only save it, keep the same pace that they were running with. Brody Falliker in the end, last season's champion, getting it done here in Sin City.
Can you believe it? That
No.
absolute insanity. Here we go. Brody Falliker gonna do a well-deserved celebration here. I want to see what Opliger has to say. He was the winner last week. I know he was wanting that win, but man, Brody made it work and brought it home here at Sin City.
Yeah, Brody Falliker last season in the Xfinity cars at the beginning of the year wasn't too sure about the Xfinity car and how he was going to perform in it. Ends up being the series or the season 4 champion. Here we are in the Gen 6, brand new car, and it goes to show you just can't keep a good driver down.
Yeah, doing some nice burnouts. We'll get these guys in the booth, but some of them, they just stay in their own channel, so I can't grab them. We'll see what they can do to get up here. They're being sneaky, but Brody Falliker out here celebrating. We'll let him do some more burnouts. Man, first win of the season here, and it's going to be at Las Vegas. Punches his ticket into the chase. What a race. Brody, take us through. You were last season's champion, and already you have your first win of the season. How did you get it done in these final laps?
I really don't know, honestly. I was trying to save as much of my right front that I could. It was super tight in 3 and 4. And, I think at the end I got pretty lucky with Steven hitting the wall, bouncing up, and giving me the top. And then with Matt, I didn't mean to sort of turn him a little bit. That's what it looked like on my end. But, I was glad that he was able to save it, and we were able to race clean back to the line.
Incredible run. We saw an incident with you earlier on and just nowhere to go. So you had pretty much a roller coaster of a night here. Racing in the back, how did you make your way up front again?
I don't know. I had about 2.5 minutes of damage. Luckily got that fixed up. And then took tires and just started flying through the field. It felt like I don't know. I think I really just got really lucky the whole rest of the race after that spin. I still have to go back and look at if I lost it on that spin or if I got tapped or something. But I'm glad it all worked out. I'm glad that we got the win.
Yeah, it was a wild night, and I know for some a race of survival, but man, you brought it home a winner, so huge congratulations. Like I said, a roller coaster of a race. We saw you everywhere in the field, and man, you brought it home and took it 2 wide, took that lead, got the win. Congratulations, punching your ticket.
Thank you.
All right, Pete, we have Matthew Opliger out here, P2.
All right, Matt, it's Pete. another, I can't even say one great run because obviously got it done last week. This week P2, these points are absolutely just racking up, able to lead some laps this evening. Again, you got the W last week. Next week we go to Bristol Motor Speedway, so another big change in the kind of track. Walk us through those last 10 laps because it really seemed like between you, the 42, the 51, the 11, and the 91, everybody's having to save these things, really trying to push to capture these checkers.
Yeah, like Brody said, it was really tight in 3 and 4, so I feel like that was the main part of the track that you had to get right. So, and the draft was just really huge whenever the tires were down. So, um, trying to time the runs and everything, trying to not to get tight was the main key.
Whenever we saw Stephen Maggio go to the bottom, we'd either see you stay up high, see the 42 or the 11 and stay up high to try to carry that momentum. How do you gauge how much time you spend up on the high side, rolled out of the throttle in order to carry max momentum coming off?
I don't know, just trying to avoid dirty air. That's another huge thing because this car is so aero dependent. So, um, just trying to go to the opposite lane of whatever they're doing. If they're aero blocking, then it's kind of hard to do anything about that. So I was getting a little upset when Steven was doing that, but thankfully we didn't crash.
Yeah, clean air definitely the name of the game at tracks like this. Where I mean, it's like I told Eliza earlier. This isn't Daytona or Talladega or Atlanta, but it is very much a draft track, just like those places. You got to try to find that clean air as quickly as possible. Try to manage your tires and not really run away. Once you've got that gap stabilized, you kind of just keep it as keep that distance that you have. You don't have to continue to try to drive away. That's where you kind of get into tire management and saving what you have in case you have somebody come up through the field and start to run you down. A great job on this P2 yet again. We'll see you next week, sir.
Thank you.
You got it. Eliza, Stephen Maggio in that 51 led a lot of laps tonight, was up front at about 5 to go, finds himself P3, and he's with you.
Sure did. Steven, what a great race that you had. You finished one spot higher than what you qualified in. Take us through your race and the end. That was a pretty wild race.
Yeah, this was a really eventful one for me. About 50 laps in, I got spun. I don't really know what happened. I just got right reared down the backstretch, and luckily I locked it down early enough to where I didn't get any damage when I hit the inside wall. And then I stayed out, and it all cycled through and everything, and I drove all the way back up to third, and then I sped on pit road. So I went all the way to the back again, and that was with around 50 to go. And I kind of just drove like Carson Hocevar for the rest of the race, so I'm not like super proud of that, but I was taking like every run I had, and then once I got to the lead, I was, like Matt said, I was aero blocking pretty hard, and I just knew that if they got to my outside, there was nothing you could do. It was just like if someone got to your outside, you were going to the back, so I was doing everything I could. I kept accidentally letting off going into turn one. I don't know if it's just like psychological. You go into the turn, you think you have to let off, but in this car, it's so thinking easy to drive that it's just full out. And yeah, and then I don't know. I killed my right front in clean air, which is just terrible. I mean, there's no excuse for that. I'm really upset with myself for that. You have clean air, and the guys behind you are trying to pass you. You have no excuse to kill your right front even more than they did. So I didn't really deserve to win that one. You know, I raced Matt hard, and I think he raced me hard back, and I think that was completely deserved. What happened off two there, and yeah, and then Brody won, so good win to Brody. And I had a really fun with the battle with them, so I'm not upset. I'm just upset with myself for, I feel like I kind of choked it a little bit.
Well, you do have a win this season, so you're locked in, but a podium finish is freaking awesome, and the racing was just so fun to watch with you guys out there. Incredibly close. You can't say enough about the talent of these drivers. A little aggressive, I will say, for parts of these race going 3 and 4 wide, but man, here at Las Vegas, it was a lot of fun. So huge congratulations on the top 3. Another phenomenal race for you.
Thank you.
All right, Pete, we saw, like I said, an aggressive race overall from these drivers. Crazy. It's Vegas. You can go 3 wide. We saw some 4 wide, but next week it is Bristol.
That's right. We're going to head back east to the last great Coliseum. It's going to be a phenomenal time. I'm going to save the whole "It's Bristol, baby" for then. But Eliza, it's another great race. Another win by a previous series. I'm sorry, by a previous season's champion in Brody Fowler. Another congratulations to him. We'll see you next week.
All right, we'll see you next Monday, same time, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you guys so much for the support. I appreciate it. See you next week.